Okay, Jennifer, this is sort of picking up where we left off. Remember, we figured out that the sign has to change. That's called the conjugate. Why does it have to change? So that when we multiply the terms together, we get a 6 times a 2 square root, that's there, and we get a negative 2 times a 6 with the square root, that's there. What do we get? We get the square root times itself, and the fourth term is the 6 times the 6. So I'm going to put that there. Over, well, you've got to write this term again, because it's it over itself. And so then on the bottom I'm going to have x minus 8 times 6 plus 2 root x plus 1. And you just want to leave that. Got to leave the limit because I haven't made x go to 8 yet. Oops, that's an 8. Right? So what happens? Those terms always cancel. Now notice that the top is going to have something that should factor out to cancel with my x minus 8. Let's see what happens. Well, both of these terms have a 4 in them, so we'll factor a 4 out of everything on the top. 4 x, I guess that's a negative x, negative, let's factor out the negative 2. Negative 4 plus x plus 1, so that would be a negative 9, because negative 4 times negative 9 is going to give me that 36, right, over x minus 8, 6 plus 2 root x plus 1. Gotta write my limit in to be a good little boy. Oops, gotta write it as an 8. Well, notice what this is right here. Right there we have plus 1 minus 9, so this whole thing here is x minus 8. Those terms cancel by cancellation, so I get something that's equal to the limit as x goes to 8 of negative 4 over 6 plus 2 root x plus 1. In my next step, I'm going to actually make x become 8, because that won't be a problem now. Oops, that's still a 6 plus 2, 8 plus 1, and so that's what, negative 4 over 6 plus, and here we have 2 times the square root of 9, which is 3, so 6 plus 6, so 4 over 12, that's negative 1/3. Okay, so that's how you do that problem. Now, if you had something where you had, say, the square root of x minus the square root of y over whatever you had there, how do you cancel that? Well, you've got to just change the sign. So the square root of x plus the square root of y. Got to always put the same thing on the bottom. Now when you do this, you're going to get x times x. The cross terms will cancel. You'll have a root x times a root y, a negative root y times a root x, and you get then negative root y times root y. So the top would end up being x minus y. Yeah? Okay, hope that helps.